tell me this works. I think this might have done it. I do. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Hover over the edges. Thank you. Yes, sound, hello. You're also patient there. Turn on, still no sound. You're here and ready. You guys are amazing, but I thought, yes, woo! It's like a pipe that's been blocked up and suddenly the water can go through. Whoosh! Oh, thank you. Thank you, my loves, for staying with me and not getting impatient. I don't know how I did it. I think it was all of your support in wanting it to happen. So I'm very, very, very grateful. Thank you very much, Lisa. I love you so much. And so does Teddy. And Teddy's far away at the moment. I got myself a little bit worked up there. But what I love is that we're such a loving communities, right? You had to put up with goodness how knows how long of me fumbling and stuttering. But I'm very grateful that we got there. So thank you. Super grateful. So what's the astrology showing us about this coronavirus, about this year? Well, I do remember saying in 2015 that astrologically 2020 looked like a complete and utter game changer. And I know I've said it before, and saying that 2020 could be a year when we reset our calendars to before 2020 and after 2020. And we're in this transitional, pivotal, amazing year. Thank you, Lisa. Again, thank you. So I don't think there's anybody or very few people on the planet. Thank you very much, Diane. Can I get a new microphone for my videos? Well, I've got a very posh, lovely Yeti microphone here, but I'm afraid I couldn't get it to speak today. So I'm sorry if the sound is not as good as you'd like it to be. But I do have good internet connection. So I'm hoping that the picture is good. So I think more than anything, because of so many drastic aspects during this year, and there's quite a few more to come, don't think that it's over yet. Well, I don't think you do. I think that those of you who are here today are very much on wavelength, that we're all family. That's how I feel about you. I just love being with you. And I can't wait to get on the live streams because we have such a vibe together. Together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Oh, Lisa, thank you again. Wow. So these next 3 months, they are big months astrologically. So what have we learned so far from the astrology? I think it's important to look so far. What do you feel you have learned since this coronavirus hit? Nori, thank you very much. What have you learned? Let me share with you some of the things that I feel I've learned, and let's see if we can spark off a nice learning environment here. I've learned that the answers are inside, and I've been looking outside all the time. But actually, I've got to go inside. I've learned that I can have a good attitude no matter what is happening around me. I choose my attitude. I choose how I'm going to be. Michelle, thank you. I appreciate that. I choose how I'm going to be with the people I'm interacting with. I'm learning, because of all the retrogrades, that I can relearn something. I've had to repeat a lot of things again and again. Sound's gone again. Somebody's saying the sound's gone. Lisa, has the sound gone? Nicholas, I do see you, yes. Is the sound still there? Okay, okay, we're on. Thank you. So, as we move through this year, yeah, what are you learning? What are you learning? I'm learning that the mind, thank you, so responsive, thank you. Oh, I'm so lucky. I feel so blessed to have such a supportive family. And I hope that you feel supported and loved when you come onto this channel, whether you're here live or whether you're here later. My deepest wish is that you feel raised, you feel uplifted, you feel that this is a safe place where you are valued, where you really matter, because you really do. And I'm learning the power that we have with our thoughts and our words. So the nodes, I study the nodes a lot, because the nodes tell us collectively what we need to move away from or balance and what we need to move towards. And the nodes for the next year and a bit are in Sagittarius and Gemini. Sagittarius, the south node. So the south node would suggest that we've been excessive. We've been too greedy, overconfident, arrogant, even. These are some of the negative qualities. I'm not saying that, but this is what we have to move away from. The good qualities, well, the good qualities would be that internationally we love one another as a family. But sadly, there are prejudices still. Prejudice, the word prejudice coming from to prejudge. So you judge somebody before they've even had a chance, before they've even opened their mouths. That's why these masks, I know there's controversy about them, but actually they're not a bad thing in some ways. It's harder to judge somebody. Can't really see all of the person. It's harder. Let's make it harder to judge one another, to prejudge. So we're moving towards this energy of Gemini. And Gemini has to do with the power of the mind, the power of our thoughts together, the power of our words. And I'm always trying to now say, before I say something, before I write an email, is it kind and is it necessary? Is it kind and is it necessary? Those two questions I try to become aware of. And it really made me aware this morning when I opened my emails. And I opened an email from somebody writing to me saying, "You're overdoing the tweets on Twitter. It's getting annoying." Okay. Was that necessary? And then I got an email back to back from somebody saying, "I love you, Bracha." And I suddenly felt different. So it doesn't mean to say that there aren't times where we do need to speak up. And maybe something unpleasant does need to be said. Maybe. But sometimes, is that essential? Do I need to write that to somebody? Is it going to help? Does it help anything to say it's getting annoying? So I'm just doing my best to constantly ask myself and to become more conscious. Is it kind? Is it necessary? I just want to welcome April. I've just realized who is AK. Forgive me, April. Welcome. April is a new moderator on our team. Welcome, welcome. We've got Drew, we've got April today. Sadly, no Lucy, but she'll be back soon and she's with us in spirit. We love her. So, words have the power to create war. You can incite somebody. I could do this now online and say all sorts of things and create all kinds of emotions. And they also have the ability to create peace. So your words and your thoughts, this is what we are moving towards, is this awareness, this conscious awareness. It's what Eckhart Tolle is talking about. We've got all these problems, challenges, adversities going on our planet, everywhere. Because make no mistake, everybody's affected in one way or another. And isn't that great? Let's have a good attitude about it, because we're at this critical point where we must transcend the dysfunction of the ego. This is what Eckhart Tolle talks about. And we've got to become consciously aware. And most of all, consciously aware of what we're doing. I admit, I'm asleep a lot of the time. I want to wake up, and I know that as more of us wake up, it gets easier. And that's why I'm so grateful to you, and thank you for liking the video. Please, thank you. Do like the video, because more of our family can join us. And the more the merrier, as they say. So we might have all these physical problems. Well, we do. We've got health challenges, economic challenges, educational, social. I mean, it's right across the board. But what we're going to do with the North Node in Gemini is, what do we do with it mentally? Where are we in our consciousness? And I'm constantly trying to raise the consciousness, raise my consciousness. I know you're raising your consciousness. And in doing that, in being conscious of kindness and becoming aware of the dialogue in your mind, becoming aware of your breathing. I've noticed that just becoming aware of my breathing, when I start to feel a little panicky, start to feel a little anxious, I get all this with you. Yeah? I have my panicky moments. I have my anxiety times. Sure I do. It's out there in the collective. So what can we do to work with the breath? Gemini rules the lungs, rules the breath. So any of you breath workers, and we all have to work with the breath. Imagine 2 minutes without breathing, maybe 3 for some of you. That's the end. So the breath is and the words and the thought is the connection to the higher frequencies. Gratitude, of course, is always something that helps to calm me. The minute I become grateful, I feel calmer. And dear Auntie Jenny, 98-year-old beautiful Auntie Jenny in Manchester. She's quite amazing. I mean, I know she's got all kinds of aches and pains and things going on. You'll never hear her complain, not ever. In fact, she said, I always feel grateful because she spoke with her friend Jean, who is deaf, on the phone. She can't get out. She said, I felt so sorry for Jean, you know. We couldn't hear each other, really. Very difficult. And she kept saying to Jean, how long is this going on? And Jean kept saying, oh, it's very nice. And they couldn't communicate. And she said, it must be so hard for dear Jean. Makes me feel grateful. So what makes you feel grateful? Because that's another way of, it's an antidote for a panic attack. It's an antidote for anxiety. If you want the vaccine for anxiety and panic and fear, look for what you can be grateful for, or look for you can help. But I always find for myself that I become calmer when I begin to think what I do have, rather than panic about something in the future that may never happen, in fact, probably won't happen. But what you do on yourself in that awareness affects everybody. So you matter, every one of you. Nicholas, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you. You've asked for something here. You'd like me to see you comment in your comment section. I'm not sure what that means, Nicholas. You may have to send me an email because I can't answer here on the live. Too much happening and I need to be very focused here. Gemini energy can sometimes be defocused. You may find yourself being drawn in lots of different directions. And to become aware of the swarming wasps and bees that are sometimes going round in your mind, or in my mind, I'll speak for myself. So we're moving towards now a conscious evolutionary point. We are at an evolutionary change. And I wanted to give you a beautiful quote by dear Maya Angelou, who says, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to reach that beauty. So look at all the changes we're going through. And I think we're working our ways through caterpillar to butterfly. That's the choice point now. This is a choice point. Libra energy, Libra. Will I, won't I? Shall I, shan't I? We've got Mars in Aries. Mars in Aries is about courage. Finding your courage. I think, according to Maya Angelou, she's one of my heroines, I must be honest, absolute heroine of mine. Every time you do something a little courageously, yeah, every time you pluck up the courage and do something, you feel a bit better about yourself. And when you do it again, you feel a little better again. So courage is one of the most important qualities to begin to develop. And with Mars retrograde until November 13th, it's a good time to look inside and say, where can I be more courageous today? What can I do that I can just face those fears and walk through them. How could I, according to Maya Angelou, be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud? What can I do to lift you? How can I lift you? How can I raise you? Just like you guys raised me at the beginning when I had no sound. You kept me going. You made sure I got sound eventually. We can raise each other so that you can continue. And I was meditating on this, and I came up with the word encourage. To encourage someone. When you feel encouraged, you feel brave. You think, right, I'm encouraged. I can do this. I can do it. Can you be an encourager of others? Can you help them to find their courage? Mars is still in Aries until next year, beginning of the year. So it's really important. And I will share with you some of the things I'm experiencing. I'm facing a lot of fears right now, and I'm doing my best to move through them. It's in process, and I assure you I will share much in the coming week or two, much. But I have to hold the energy at the moment. Sometimes, you know, you're walking through something, and if you begin to share it too soon, you dissipate the energy. So I'm holding the energy at the moment, just so you know. And it's important to hold it. Sometimes it's important to hold it and be strong inside yourself and not blurt it all out too soon. I've learned that through hard lessons, especially when you're making important decisions. I'm making some really big, life-changing decisions at the moment. And in the past, I would have shared them with various different ones, friends, different people here and there. And I notice that people often try and talk you out of something, or they get worried about you, or they try to influence you for your own good. Sometimes it's not really for your own good. You've got to really, Mars retro. So I'm looking at my courage and I'm hanging on in there, yeah? I'm saying I'm really going to be courageous. So I will share that with you. But what I'm saying is, what can you do that's brave? For example, Maya Angelou, somebody was in her home telling some kind of a racist joke. Halfway through it, she was over the other side of the room. She came across to this person and said, here's your hat and scarf. I want you to leave now. Everybody looked round. Wow, you know, how did she have the courage to do that? Well, she said, I built up my courage bit by bit by bit by bit. You build it up, you build it up. So this Mars is encouraging us to be brave. It's a stretch every time to go live, especially when you don't have sound for the first 5 or 6 minutes. Thank you for liking the video. I do appreciate it when you do that, or we all do, because it helps more of us to become courageous together, to encourage one another. And I love the way Maya Angelou says, sometimes, you know, you thank God that you got a job, but thank God if you didn't get the job. Thank God if you've been fired. And you say, thank you, because God has something better for me. God has something better for you. So again, that gratitude muscle, building the muscle of gratitude. And developing that courage. And again, we've got this whole search for truth. Neue Erde. Thank you. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Woo! Love that. Thank you, Manu. Beautiful. You can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Yeah. And it's the little things that matter. And it's breaking those old habit patterns. For example, I'll share one that I've got a really bad habit. I have a very bad habit of eating fast. And sometimes I confess to listening to a podcast or reading a book while I am eating. And not noticing how much I'm eating. And then wondering afterwards why I've got pain or discomfort. And it's really difficult for me to change that habit and to sit peacefully and quietly. I always pray over the food first and afterwards, usually. But to be present, to be conscious and present while I'm eating, I find that very difficult. What do you find difficult that you know you need to change? Mars retrograde, an opportunity to look inside at the things that you know you need to change. So these are things that I just try to think about when I'm meditating on these aspects. So again, with the nodes, we've got the South Node in Sagittarius. This has everything to do with all these conspiracy theories out there. The pandemics, the masks, the whole thing's been planned, whatever. I mean, there are many conspiracy theories out there. And this is this whole thing of somebody else has a bigger picture and is pulling the strings. It's like somebody else has a master plan. And they know what's happening and we don't. And so there's this feeling of victim. There's a real victim consciousness in conspiracy theories. There's a powerlessness. They're doing it to us. Doesn't mean to say that we might not have to speak up. In fact, we do have to speak up for that which is important. But again, is it necessary? And do we really have the facts? And what are the facts? But what is great about the conspiracy theories, Mercury is about to go retrograde. What is great about it? Again, what's great about it? There's a strong desire for truth. More desire on the planet probably than centuries maybe, for a desire that we want to know the truth. We want to know what's happening. We want to know what's in our unseen world, what source energy has in mind for us, what we're moving towards, and the bigger level. What is the master plan? And I think that any kind of human master plan, unless it's a loving, compassionate, caring, unifying master plan, it won't work. It can't work. And now as more of us come together in this frequency and learn and grow and shine together, shine our light, you shine your light into those dark places, then whatever was planned or even is in the planning that is evil or hostile or painful won't make it. Won't make it. Can't make it. So I encourage you to look at my 2021 videos. I've done 2021 to 22 years. I've done predictions. I've done Pleiadians. Maybe a lot of you already watched that because you joined me. Thank you very much, Lee. I appreciate that. So what do you appreciate in your daily life? I appreciate right now April and Drew being here. You're so supportive of me. Without you as moderators, it would be very difficult. Thank you. What can you delight in? I notice this with my 98-year-old auntie. She's cooped up in that house all the time. And yet today, when I'm talking to her, she said, "Ooh, I can see an aeroplane." And she was proper thrilled. You'd have thought she was a child seeing it for the first time. She loves aeroplanes. When her son took her to, she calls them the botanical gardens. It's actually the botanical gardens. Thank you, RY Guy One. I appreciate it. When he took her there to see all the palm trees and all the different things, because it's close to the airport, she couldn't stop looking up at the aeroplanes. Oh, she said, I can see the number on that aeroplane. It's so close. What can you delight in life, no matter where you are and what's going on? She is my teacher, such a great teacher. And you'll never hear her complain, ever. Because complaining just slows you down. It's dense, there's a dense energy. And you're also not accepting what is. That really tends to make what is even worse. So I'd like to close with, because I'm so grateful to have you here online, and I'd like to close once again with a quote from Maya Angelou, because courage is the word, courage and encouragement. So who can you encourage who you know is afraid at the moment, and just give them a little encouragement, a little, you can do it. Let me be the wings. Let me be your wings. Let me help you to become the butterfly that you are. Who needs your encouragement? Let's help one another to be courageous. And what she said, Maya Angelou, is having courage does not mean we are unafraid. Okay? It doesn't mean to say that you'll stiff upper lip, everything's fine. No, you might be quaking on the inside. I still quake on the inside when I'm live. And I do it anyway. And I'm so grateful. Every time I learn something new. Every time. We're in a very joyous festival at the moment. In the Jewish calendar, we're in Sukkot, or Sukkot. And we build an outside area where we're supposed to spend the week, and we eat there. I'd say I haven't done this myself, but this is one of the rituals, one of the traditions, where we eat and we meet, and we have all our food there, and we're supposed to sleep there in the open. Yes, trusting in God, trusting in the elements, trusting that we can connect with that higher force that's always there, that's always guiding us. So it's a time of trust. And I just want to say how grateful I am that you join me here and that we are joined together. The only way through this now is in our connectedness and finding our love of each other. One of the sages, Hillel, was asked, can you please say in one sentence, what is the most important thing a person should do? And he said, yes. Love your neighbor like yourself. Thank you very much, Shauna. I appreciate that. And that's it. It's just that we have to learn how to do that. It's very good to know it here and to know the saying. How do we do it? And I'm hoping that in some of these live streams, in some of the inspiration that you get, in some of the inspiration that you give to me, that we find ways to be able to do that consciously. Thank you, Drew. Thank you very much, April. Thank you, all of you, for those of you who donate, for joining me on Patreon, for liking, sharing. Much, much love. Bye for now.